President Trump has been impeached for an unprecedented second time during his term. And tonight, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts regarding this live, my professional thoughts, that is. So stick around for all of that and much, much more that's coming right. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And that way, you won't miss a single thing when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That's right. I'm here to help each and every one of you get the best possible grip or grips on your life, so that way each and every one of you can accomplish whatever it is that your heart or hearts desire. That's what it's all about in my neck of the woods over here on the Grip on Light channel out here on YouTube. And once again tonight, we are also simulcasting live out on Facebook. So hello to everyone out there on Facebook and hello to everyone out here on YouTube. This is my second stream of the day, and I have to say I'm a little bit tired, folks. I almost thought of canceling this show because I'm really exhausted, but I just felt it was so important to do it, so I'm kind of powering through it. I made myself a second pot of coffee, and I'm going to be good to go because some more things obviously transpired today regarding politics, and I just feel it's very important to discuss them. But before we get to that, let me make sure that the notification has gone out. The notification has gone out on YouTube, and let me check out the back end of YouTube. And it looks like we are streaming perfectly on YouTube, and let's just make sure that everything is rolling well on Facebook. Streaming perfectly on YouTube, and let's just make sure that everything is rolling well on Facebook. And yes, it is. Eli, thank you so much. Eli on the Facebook side of things. Eli on both sides of the fence, right? That's just a joke. Don't take me out of context. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm not going to be on too terribly long tonight. I'm just going to share my thoughts and read an article on CNN regarding today's events at or on Capitol Hill, however you want to say it, regarding the House voting to impeach President Trump for an unprecedented second time during his term. This is the first time in our nation's history here in the U.S. that a president has been impeached twice in the same term. I'm sorry. I mean, is there anything left for this guy to do before he's out of office in a week? Is there anything he hasn't done? And, you know, I've been thinking very deeply about this. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, President Trump is not a dumb man. I mean, he may be acting dumb or stupid, however you want to say it, lately. But he's not a dumb man. He's a very smart businessman. He's made lots of money. So do I think that he knows exactly what he's doing and he realizes what he's doing? Yes, I do. So if he knows exactly what he's doing and he knows that it's wrong, then why is he doing it? Well, in my opinion, you know, I think that when he realized that he wasn't going to, get reelected, he wanted to go out in style so people never forget about him, and he always has a page in the history book because, or history books, let's just say that plural. Because I'll tell you, 100 years from now, when, we're teaching history classes to our grammar school kids, and who knows how schooling will be in 100 years. It's all going to be completely digital at that point, if it already isn't. But they're going to be talking about this, and they're going to be comparing, Trump to some other people in the past, such as Nixon, maybe Hitler, etc. I guess you wanted to make a name for yourself if you already hadn't made a name for yourself, Donnie, before you, got into office 4 years ago. But yeah, I don't know what more this guy can do. And it's not a laughing matter. I'm laughing about it because I'm trying to lighten things up in spite of recent events. Last week, on Capitol Hill, where I believe now the death toll is 5 from that event. And lots of people injured, and it was just a crazy time. It's not a laughing matter. But, I'm trying to just accept it and take it with a grain of salt and think positive and move forward. Just, praying for the best and hoping for the best, hoping that nothing goes crazy during Joe Biden's inauguration next week. Now, it's interesting to me, on Capitol Hill today, how much police presence there was. There were a ton of different agencies there, different police agencies there to protect the Capitol, and there's also going to be a lot of police presence at all 50 state capitals. I believe the White House and Capitol Hill during Inauguration Day, because you never know what these crazy people have planned to do. And President Trump came out and did a video earlier today from the White House. I don't think it was broadcast live. I think it was pre-recorded, and he just put it out there. And he was saying that, to just have a peaceful transition and to not create any violence or anything like that. And he basically did what he should have done, last week or sooner than today. But one thing that he didn't do is take any ownership for the insurrection. And, that's why he got impeached. He got impeached for the insurrection of the events that, happened on Capitol Hill last week. Now, I failed to mention at the beginning of the show. I'll mention it now. I want to pay special props to this channel sponsor, and that is none other than Troy Brewer. He is a CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. For all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry, please visit www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, that's www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network, also known as the DCN Internet Radio Network, or known as the DCN Internet Radio Network. I need more sleep. I got up early today. And when you go on that website, you're going to find a bunch of talk and music internet radio stations, and more than likely one of those talk or music internet radio stations will suit your talk or music genre needs. So if you like listening to talk radio or music throughout the course of your days, please consider visiting www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. One more time, that's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both of those links are below in the description on the YouTube side of things. And if you go to those websites and you also find out how to connect with Troy by phone or email, and you decide to reach out to him, please do not fail to mention, don't forget to mention that Coach Eli sends you with lots and lots of love. All right. Nothing going on the Facebook side of things, and not much going on the YouTube side of things. I want to check one thing out here real quick before we move further. Give me just 1 second. Give me just a second, folks. Okay. All good. All good. All good. All right, let me just say hello to Mutt Nuts World, who's here in the chat. Hey, Eli and everyone. Hey, Mutt. And earlier, Lewis Fuller was in the house. All right. Not a lot of people here right now. It's been a crazy day, and most people, know about this. So I don't expect a whole lot of traction, but I just wanted to get my say in for the record. So let's just get right to it here. So we plow right through this. I'm going to switch on over to the browser screen, and we're going to get right to, come on, show up. There you go. Get right to this article on CNN Politics on the CNN.com website. And as you can see, the title is House Impeaches Trump for Incitement of Insurrection. One more time. House Impeaches Trump for Incitement of Insurrection. And this was updated 8:23 p.m. Eastern, 5:23 p.m. Pacific, which was just almost an hour ago. And as you look on the screen here, I'm not going to play the video, obviously. It is copyrighted. On agreeing to the resolution, you see, those were not the final results there, but that was towards the end of the vote on whether to impeach Trump or not. So let's just get right to it here. CNN, the House voted Wednesday to impeach President Donald Trump for a second time in a swift and bipartisan condemnation of the president's role in inciting last week's riot at the U.S. Capitol. They sure did. The House voted 232 to 197. Interestingly enough, 10 Republicans voted to impeach Trump. And I think a whole lot more wanted to vote to impeach Trump, but they've all been threatened, obviously, I'm assuming, by the president. And, they all fear repercussion from Trump supporters. So a lot of the, Republicans in the House that wanted to vote to impeach basically just said, hey, it would be better if I just voted nay instead of yay. So the House voted 232 to 197 to impeach Trump exactly 1 week after rioters forced lawmakers to flee from the very chamber in which they cast ballots in the fourth presidential impeachment in U.S. history. And the first time a president has been impeached twice. That's right. That's right. Boy, Donnie, you are certainly doing things completely differently than any other president in history. I think Donald Trump has been the most different. Let's just be polite and say the most different president, not only in the history of our country, but in the history of this world, regarding presidents or prime ministers from any other country. I've never seen any person just behave the way he does in the most sacred job in the country. Just unbelievable. 10 Republicans, including the House's number 3 Republican Liz Cheney of Wyoming, joined all Democrats to impeach Trump for incitement of insurrection. That's what he did. While impeachment won't force Trump from office, State Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said Trump won't face his trial until after President-elect Joe Biden is sworn in next week. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, the House was able to get this impeachment vote in rather quickly. This was very, very quickly done because, they knew that, Trump's, term is ending. He had just under 2 weeks or at exactly 2 weeks left when, the events happened on Capitol Hill. So they had to get to it. But now, just because, they impeach him, he has to stand trial with the Senate. And more than likely, that's not going to happen until after his term ends and Biden is in office. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, if they can even make it happen faster than that. I think Trump should be out immediately, like a lot of people have been saying, but you got to go through the process. The vote was a visceral response from lawmakers in both parties furious at Trump after a deadly pro-Trump mob Ovarian Capitol Police ransacked the U.S. Capitol and put the lives of Vice President Mike Pence and lawmakers in danger last week. Yeah, I know. Yep. They put his life at danger. They put Pelosi's life at danger. They put a lot of people's lives in danger. It's interesting now. I'm hearing that the day before the events at Capitol Hill to finalize and certify the votes for Biden's victory, they had some unusual tours of the Capitol the day before, and now what a lot of people in the House are saying, especially the Democrats, obviously, that there may have been an inside job to this happening. And if that's the case, if we have some of our Congress people that are a part of this, that's really sad. That's gonna really, really destroy our democracy and the trust that we're supposed to have in our government if it's found that is what happened. So hopefully that didn't happen, but I have a feeling it did, because there's no way all these people would have been able to bust into the Capitol and do what they did without inside help. That's just my opinion. We know that the President of the United States incited this insurrection, this armed rebellion against our common country. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on the House floor ahead of the vote, "He must go. He is a clear and present danger to the nation that we all love." I agree with Pelosi. A lot of people don't like Pelosi, especially on the right, but I think she does a great job. And I think she has a big heart, and I think she really, truly cares about this country. All right. The speed of the vote and the Republican support underscores the fury that lawmakers feel about Trump's role inciting rioters who overtook the Capitol, who were fueled by Trump's months of false rhetoric about the election being stolen from him. It never happened. It never happened. He knows it. He knows it never happened, but he realized, hey, okay, Biden beat me by a long shot, or by a mile, is what I'm trying to say. And so now, in order for people to remember me, I got to do all these crazy things. So that way, I can end up, going out in style and be remembered. Additionally, I heard that Trump has raised over $300 million, from his supporters over the last few months because of, what's been going on. He's led these supporters to believe that, there was widespread voter fraud, which there wasn't, and that money was given to him to fight this, right? But now, Trump has no leg to stand on. There's nowhere left for him to go regarding this. What's he going to do with that money? Is he going to give it back? No. So what's he going to do with it? And, Trump also is going to be facing a lot of things in the business world. Once he leaves office, a lot of businesses have stopped supporting him. The PGA is no longer going to work with him. He's going to lose a lot of business deals over this, to the point of where some people are saying he may even have to file bankruptcy. Now, here's the interesting thing. Now, this money that was given to him by his supporters, is that personal money or is that business money? And where is that being funneled through? And if Trump files bankruptcy, which I'm assuming he would file through his business entities, which means personally he would not be affected by that. Okay, that's why it's great to put things through a business, because if you have to file bankruptcy in a business, it doesn't affect your personal credit or anything, right? and so and they can't go after your personal assets for a business venture. So, in my opinion, this might have even been a ploy to make a clear $300 million personally, file bankruptcy with the businesses, and then run off with his wife somewhere else and live happily ever after. See, a lot of people see Trump as this rich mogul, right, that's made lots of money, but a lot of his money's tied up in deals. And if people stop working with him, everything crashes. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and especially if he gets convicted by the Senate, and then he can also never run again if they choose to do that, which is more than likely what they're going to do. And if he gets convicted, is he going to spend time in jail? I hope he does. At the end of the day, I have to ask Donald Trump, was it worth it? Was it worth the fame and the glory? And do you think, Donald, that you're going to just, squeeze your way out of this? See, that's part of the issues I have with some of the conservatives out there, is that they do some pretty crazy things. And a lot of times they get away with these things. I'm just hoping this time, Trump pays the price for what he did to set the example for everyone else. So that way, anyone else that tries to do anything remotely as close to what Trump has done, they may think twice, because they'll actually pay the price for it if they do it. If you let people get away with things, they're going to keep doing wrong things. You gotta set the example by punishing, especially the president, who's done a very horrific thing, in my opinion. Cheney's statement was cited by impeachment supporters and detractors alike Wednesday after she charged that Trump summoned this mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack. He did it all. He did it all. There's no doubt about it. His own people know he did it. And the people that are saying he didn't do it are only saying that because they just don't want to admit that he did it. But they know. They know. There has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution, Cheney said. I agree. I completely agree with that. This guy has destroyed the Constitution practically. He's destroyed democracy practically. He's got to go. He has got to go. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said Wednesday that Trump bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters, urging the president to accept his share of responsibility and quell the brewing unrest. McCarthy, however, argued the House should create a bipartisan commission instead of impeachment. No, impeachment. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's already been impeached, and now he's got to be convicted, and now he needs to pay for it, whether it's money, time in jail, or both, and also never being able to run for federal office or any office for that sake ever again. He should not be allowed to even step foot in any government building ever again. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I believe impeaching the president in such a short time frame would be a mistake, McCarthy said. Nope. You got to set the example. No investigations have been completed. No hearings have been held. Really? Come on, dude. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be delusional. Come on now. Yeah. The investigations will be done and people will come forward. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is the FBI is going to make deals with people saying, hey, we'll give you a lighter sentence or immunity if you tell us the truth about, what happened. Did Trump make you do this? When the deals start rolling out, the truth will pop out. Trust me. And the deals will be made. The division within the Republican Party starkly contrasts the House Democrats' 2019 impeachment of Trump. When House Republicans were united in opposition, the Republicans, besides Cheney, voting to impeach Trump on Wednesday, were Representatives John Katko of New York, Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, Fred Upton of Michigan, Jamie Herrera of Butler of Washington, Dan Newhouse of Washington, Peter Mayer of Michigan, Tom Rice of South Carolina, Anthony Gonzalez of Ohio, and David Vallado of California. Rice, a Republican from a conservative district who was not expected to vote for impeachment, said in a statement after the vote that it was the president's response to the riot that led him to cross the aisle. It doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right, because right is right and wrong is wrong. Okay? If Joe Biden gets in office and does something like this, I would be all over impeaching him as well. The reason why I voted for Biden is not because he's a Democrat, it's because I feel he's the best person for the job. He's a very reasonable person. He has a big heart. He cares about our country. He has a lot of experience, in government agencies. He knows what he's doing. But if he were to ever do anything remotely as close to what Trump's done, I'd say impeach him too. Just because I'm on the left doesn't mean I wouldn't want someone on the left to be impeached, if they did something impeachable, just because I'm on the left. It's not about that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I have backed this president through thick and thin for 4 years. I campaigned for him and voted for him twice, but this utter failure is inexcusable, the South Carolina Republican added. In the Senate, McConnell is not planning to bring the Senate back for a trial before January 19th, meaning the trial won't begin until Trump is out of office and Biden has been sworn in. Unless some miracle happens, who knows? But that's what we're thinking is going to happen. What we're thinking is going to happen is the trial will start after, Trump leaves office, towards the beginning of Biden's, administration. And the sad thing is that, Biden wants to get right in and get right to work to tackle the coronavirus, get everyone vaccinated as quickly as possible, and deal with the economy and other things like that. But this is going to clearly delay that because this is where the main focus is going to be. And no matter how hard Biden tries to, tackle those issues while this is happening, he knows all eyes are going to be on this trial and this impeachment. So it's just really sad. And I think Trump knows that. I think Trump knows the whole system. He knows the system and he plays the system. And I think, he's doing this because he wants to make the transition as difficult as possible for Biden and Democrats. It's just sad. It's really, really sad. Very sad. Let me see here. The majority leader said in the statement following the vote that a trial could not be completed ahead of Biden's inauguration, even if it started beforehand, and he wanted Congress and the executive branch to spend the next week focused on facilitating a safe inauguration and an orderly transfer of power. Okay, that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. I mean, the House, got together very quickly to get the impeachment process started, which is what I'm trying to say. Now, if the Senate wanted to do it, they probably could, but it would be a pain in the butt. But again, even if they started the trial, it wouldn't end until after Biden's inaugurated. So what's the difference? So I can understand. Why it's more than likely not going to happen until after Biden gets inaugurated. In a note to his GOP colleagues Wednesday afternoon, McConnell wrote, "I have not made a final decision on how I will vote, and I intend to listen to the legal arguments when they are presented to the Senate." Okay, bring in some of the people that have been arrested and see what they have to say. Some of the Republican, Congress people were saying that, let's bring in the people to testify. We haven't heard from them. Okay, sure, bring them in. Ask them why they did what they did. Why did they feel the need to do what they did? We felt it was our duty to the president to do that. Why? Because he revved you up to do it. He incited you to do it. Is that why? Come on now. Be honest. McConnell has indicated that he believes impeaching Trump will make it easier to get rid of the president and Trumpism from the Republican Party, sources said Tuesday. That's the thing. It's not even a lot of these people that support Trump are not even real Republicans. Maybe some are, but most of them are like, Chris Cuomo calls them. I mentioned this the other day. I'll mention it again. He calls them Trumplicans, right? And I think these people they're not real. They're not real conservatives. They're like, they're like alt-right. They're alternative right, groupies. Because real conservatives would not behave this way. Like I mentioned before, I'll mention it again. I'm friends with many conservatives out here in California, and my conservative friends out here don't behave this way at all. At all. At all. So I get what they're saying there. Impeaching Trump will make it easier to get rid of the president and Trumpism from the Republican Party. Sources said Tuesday McConnell is facing a delicate balance. Okay, that's a fair statement, McConnell. A number of his GOP colleagues have made clear they oppose impeachment, and the Kentucky Republican famously loathes anything that divides his conference, according to a source familiar with the matter. Okay, give me a second here. Let me make sure that everything is clear. Nothing going on YouTube. And nothing going on the Facebook side of things. All right. No worries. No worries. Okay. But the source says McConnell is also keenly aware of the moment in history and the moment for the Republican Party. McConnell's shift against Trump has been apparent for those watching him closely. He cut off contact with Trump weeks ago and has made clear he has no plans ever to speak to him again. Well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You're not happy with what he's done. He incited violence, and he incited the riot at the Capitol building where 5 people died because of that incident. So I don't blame you. And he still hasn't owned up to it. He's a narcissistic man. He feels no guilt for 5 people dying over that event. No responsibility. For House Democrats, the disagreements that divided their caucus on impeachment in 2019 simply never materialized. Democrats quickly I can't even pronounce that word. What the hell is that word? I'm gonna have to Google this. Maybe I feel like an idiot, but
coalesce.
Come together to form one mass or whole. Okay. I probably knew that word, but yeah, haven't heard it in a while.
Coalesce.
Thank you, Google. Come together to form one mass or whole. All these fancy words, man. Jeez. Around using impeachment in the final days of Trump's presidency to serve as a proper response to the president's conduct and as a way to push for his removal from office before the end of his term. Although that scenario looks unlikely, it's not going to happen. Not enough time. I wish it would happen. I wish he could be out right now. But that's not the way the system works. They're running the system by the book. That's the way they should do it. As much as I don't like it, that's the way the system was created. Pence sent a letter Tuesday saying he would not seek to invoke the 25th Amendment as Democrats had urged, and Trump is not considering resigning. Well, Pence, you just don't want to get the backlash from Trump or anyone else. The truth of the matter is, I think Pence wants Trump gone. I think Pence can't stand Trump. Trump called Pence the derogatory word for the female body part below the waist. You know what us guys call it, right? He called Pence that when he decided to not try to, stop, the votes, from being certified last week at Capitol Hill. Just ridiculous. Pence has been put in a very, very tough spot, and I got to say, he's handled it quite well. And him and Trump didn't talk for almost a week since that event, and I heard I guess they talked. I think it was yesterday, briefly. But yeah, I can only imagine how Mike Pence feels. Pelosi has brushed aside Republican efforts to take a different action, such as censure. In response to Trump's role in the riots, she named impeachment managers on Tuesday evening. A team of 9 Democrats will be led by Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland ahead of a likely trial not long after Biden is sworn in. Okay? Yeah, it probably happened the first or second week of Biden being in office. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said late Tuesday the House would send the articles to the Senate immediately. And I saw Nancy Pelosi signing the articles of impeachment live on the air on CNN earlier today. And what a defining moment. I'll tell you, what a defining moment. And you could literally hear all those high-speed cameras with the high-speed shutters, the DSLRs, just literally going off like, it almost sounded like a machine gun of cameras. They must have taken like at least 1,000 pictures of the articles of impeachment in literally like 20 or 30 seconds. Anyway, let's see. Pelosi has brushed aside Republican efforts to take a different action, such as censure. In response to Trump's role in the riots, she named... Oh, I already read that. Sorry, I read that. Democrats only grew more resolute in their push to impeach Trump over the riot as more information has come out about the attack on the Capitol, including violent images of Capitol police officers being attacked and the death of a Capitol police officer. Wednesday's vote occurred while thousands of National Guard troops were present every nook of the Capitol complex ahead of next week's inauguration. Yeah, they were all over. There were cops everywhere, National Guard. There were literally, I'd say, at least 1,000, law enforcement agents there between National Guard and policemen and sheriff and other law enforcement agencies. I mean, it was like an army ready to go to war. That's what we need. That's what we need against these crazy Trump supporters. We need to protect ourselves. We do. We got to protect ourselves from these highly emotionally unstable and mentally unstable people. That's the truth. I'm not trying to be mean. That's the truth. And they slept on the floors of the Capitol building the night before the impeachment vote. Yeah, they showed that. They showed them sleeping. Well, half of them were asleep, half were awake. You can't have them all asleep, or else if something happens, they're not going to be ready to go. But yeah, there were a lot of them, and I think it made a statement. I think. Here's the thing. I'm thinking that I don't think that the Trump supporters are going to try something on Inauguration Day on the 20th. I think the FBI, the Secret Service, National Guard, local state police, they're going to be so well prepared. They're even going to be looking for like the John F. Kennedy scenario. They're going to be looking for sharpshooters. They're going to be everywhere, to the point of where there's going to be so much protection there that if any of these people try to pull something, they will be arrested with a felony and they'll be going away for 20 years at least. That's a good thing. Okay. Let's continue here. After the House vote, Trump released a video statement calling for calm as the threat of new riots, which Trump said he'd been briefed on by the Secret Service, casts a pall over Washington, but he did not mention the historic impeachment that had occurred a few hours earlier. Yeah, he didn't mention his second impeachment. Unprecedented. Trump, going down in history for that. You're going to be in the history books for being the first and only president probably in history and probably ever to get impeached twice in one term. He didn't even take ownership of the events last week. He doesn't want to incriminate himself. And then on another note, the guy is thinking of pardoning his family and then trying to pardon himself. I don't think the president can self-pardon himself, but he's going to try it. And even if he can, that only pardons him from, federal stuff. State stuff and civil stuff is still on the table. And I wonder how many people are going to consider suing Trump civilly. Oh, Trump, you messed up, man. You messed up big time, man. Oh, man. Trump has showed no contrition for his role in last week's Capitol riot. Yeah, I just said that in different words. Rallying against impeachment on Tuesday in his first public remarks since the incident. A source close to the president said he's not considering resigning. Of course he's not. His head's too big. His ego's too big. It's been analyzed, Trump said of his remarks last week to the crowd before the riots. People thought what I said was totally appropriate. Are you kidding me, dude? Listen to yourself over and over again. You told people to go and march, to the Capitol building. And you told them to stand up for our country. Okay? Dude, you incited this. You planned this. You planned the rally nearby the Capitol building on purpose so you can fire up your people. And, you're going to say, well, you brought them there so they can protest, which is a part of their First Amendment rights. But at the same time, dude, you got them so stirred up with what you said that you knew they were going to create the riot. You knew that was going to happen. God, I hope they put Trump away for at least 20 years. It's not going to probably happen. He knows the system too well, but I'd love for him to even get a year in jail would be just incredible. Just to have a criminal record. So, I'm not going to read the rest. I'm going to share this article in the description, what the trial could look like. If you want to go ahead and read this, I'm going to put the link to the CNN article in the description on the YouTube side of things. I will also share it right now on Facebook, just in case anyone is out there or sees this on the replay. They're going to be able to see it. Let me quickly add it to the YouTube side of things. Just a second here. Under source. All right. We are good to go there. Let me switch on back over to full screen. All right. Nuts World on the YouTube side of things says, we have state police from my side of Maryland up there in D.C. right now. I know some of them that went, they are from my town. Yeah, they're going to really beef up security. It would be very stupid for any of these Retrumplicans or Trump supporters or Trump cult, whatever you want to call them, to try something. These people try anything or try to come close to the Capitol building or the White House or any of the 50 state capitals in the country. These people are going to be arrested and charged with a felony, and they could be facing 20 years in prison. So I just hope the whole thing goes well, and I hope things return back to normal soon. I will say, at least for me, ever since Joe Biden won the presidency, a lot of people that used to attack me out here on YouTube that are Trump supporters and that are from the far right or alt right, they've actually completely backed off. They really don't come at me anymore. And I got to say, I think that has everything to do with the fact that Trump is no longer going to be in office, and because of that, a lot of these people are losing the power they had to practically attack and incite hate and violence on people, even on social media platforms, and get away with it. But now, because of the change of power, and Biden's going to be more supportive of stopping these people. Look what's been happening. Social media has been shutting these people down, and they deserve to get shut down, which leaves a clear path for a good person like myself to be able to propel forward. But Nuts World says, we'll catch up later. Been a long day, going to lay down for a bit, then get back up and get some more work done that I need to catch up on. Yeah, we're going to get out of here too, Mutz. So, all right, folks, that's going to wrap things up here. We are at 46 minutes. I may end up taking the day off tomorrow, or I might end up doing one stream or one video. I'm not quite sure yet. I did 2 today. I've been up since 3 or 4 in the morning. I went to bed really early last night. I was tired. I got up early and I did a stream in the morning. If you missed that, check it out. Some interesting information on modern world dating. And then I knew today the House was voting on the impeachment of Trump, the second impeachment. So I, was watching that most of the day. Then I knew I was going to stream. So I may take tomorrow off. In case you don't see me, just know everything's all good. With that being said, have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.